Forest. At the old ball game. Hey!
Hey, welcome back to the Vintage Baseball Corner. I'm Chris. I appreciate you joining me today. We're going to do another PSA reveal. This time we're going to get some older cards. We're 50s through the 70s here, mostly 60s and 70s. Four friends of ours, including myself, submitted cards for this grouping. There were 79 cards total, although as you will see, not all of them did get encapsulated and holdered. So we'll have to deal with that part of it. It was a 50 business day estimated turnaround. It took 40 business days once the cards were entered into the system and the clock officially started. It did take them about 2 weeks from the time they arrived to the time they got entered into the system. So it was 56 days from the time they arrived to the time they were finished. 56 business days. Still not too bad. As we all know, they were running slow on getting orders entered into the system there for a little while. Again, we're going to see mostly 60s, 70s. We're looking at 4 different collections here, so there'll be a variety of cards. Let's just start looking at some cards. We got a lot of cards to go through, so I'm going to go through this fairly quickly, and let's just have fun. Please let me know what you think. Were the grades fair? Was PSA a little harsh? Just, let me know in the thoughts what you think. I've got some opinions. I'll share some of those in the video, but at the same time, I don't want to get too negative here. I try to be positive, although I'm not necessarily all sunshine and rainbows, but I still try to be more positive than negative. All right, let's do this. All right, here's everything from 50s to 70s. We're going to go through these here pretty quickly. I'm going to move them out of the way so that we can see them on camera and get started. All right, we're going to start with 2 football cards and get those out of the way, and then we'll get straight to baseball. The first one is a 1969 Bart Starr, card number 215. Got a VG3 on this one. Color's really nice on it, just wearing corners and your typical wear on that old of a card, but still nice looking card there. So we'll slide him over here. Next one is a 71 Joe Namath. Got a 4 on this one. Again, those are pretty much expected grades. I'm going to say this one time, and then I'm going to get off the point and not belabor it. This particular submission I thought was harsh. It was one of the harsher ones I've seen. I generally don't complain too much about grades. I'm pretty good at pre-assessing grades. And this one I think we had a tough day on. To the point there were also, and again, 12 cards that all came back not graded. Every single one of them were minimum size required. I measured these cards with a ruler before they went. I had 2 of them that I were showing a little short, and I just had my fingers crossed that maybe they'd be within tolerances. The other ones seemed to line up. Now again, I didn't break out the digital caliper, but I did use a nice, good quality corkback ruler to measure. I'm not going to belabor too much on these, but these are just disappointing with these. I'm not even sure. Oh, there's the sticker on the back of that one. But all of these, obviously Gaylord Perry and Bob Gibson from 62 is disappointing, but they kind of spread across multiple people collections. These are not all mine. I believe a couple of us had 4. And by the way, this was one of the nicest 62s I've ever seen. It's beautiful, and it measured perfectly when I measured it. So I don't know what the heck's going on there. The thing that I guess concerns me is that many cards from one submission, yet I believe we had 4 different submitters with this submission with card, and all of us got hit with at least one of the minimum size required. Cards coming from 3 different states, 4 submitters, 3 states. Of the 4 cards that I had hit minimum size required, they came 2 from a local card shop and 1 each from 2 different eBay dealers. So it's not like somebody bought a collection and we submitted them all and it just kind of hit us. They came from all over the place, which just, again, makes it a tough pill for me to swallow. I will say this, I've had cards that have graded that have gotten grades before that measured as well, or maybe even not as well as some of these. So that's all I'm going to say about it. I'm going to leave it alone from there because I don't like to be negative. But I'm not going to lie and tell you that we weren't very disappointed in that and in some of these grades that are coming up. Generally speaking, the grades were at expectations or at least one below and sometimes two below, which again, if you've seen my previous reveals, is not typical of the cards that we submit. I'm generally pretty good and sometimes even get surprises to the good. That said, there are some nice grades in there. There are some nice cards. So it was by all means not all bad. But I want to get that out of the way because I don't want it to hammer on each individual card when they come up. All right, next we're going to start with two oversized cards. One is a 53 Redman Tobacco. We got no tab on this one. And these are going to be real hard for me to not get a glare on or reflection. This one got a 1.5. That was pretty much expected on that. There's some creasing in it, and it's definitely seen its day and seen some love. But a Roy Campanella without tab Redman Tobacco. I like those cards. I would like to start picking some of those up for my own personal collection. That one belonged to Nick. At some point I will, but it just hasn't been a priority. The next one is a 1962 Holiday Inn, and I don't know if we can zoom in on that or not. Mickey Mantle postcard. It says with bat in lounge. I'm going to try to get out a little bit, move my hand. Maybe we can get a little bit better of a view there. This postcard, it is a true postcard. This one from 1962, I believe we said. It came up with a 1.5 as well. Again, not a surprise on that one. And both of those had seen some love in the day. All right, now we're going to start oldest and go to most recent and end in the 70s. First up, got a nice 57 Dodger Slugger. Got a 3 on this one. I thought we could have gotten a 4. This one does have a... See if I can get it to see it. It's hard to see that. But basically kind of right through, not like right through there, there's a wrinkle there. And again, not really easy to see, but it's there. I think you can see the kind of beginnings of it on the other side of his bat there. But still, very nice card. It did have the wear, and maybe even the corners might have been what got it, the 3 grade, or the combination of both. Sometimes you can have 2 or 3 minor flaws that add up to a grade versus one major. But Dodger Sluggers with Ferrillo, Hodges, Campanella, and the Duke, as in Willie, Mickey, and the Duke. Next, I got a 59 Topps Banks Baseball Thrills Hustler Wins MVP. This one got a 7. This was a nice card. I picked this one up. It was an eBay deal. I picked this one up really late, to the point that actually there was a few of these cards, like 3 or 4 of these cards, that I put in the submission before I ever actually even had them in the mail. This was one of them. So I was happy with the condition that this came in. But Baseball Thrills from 1959. I'll stick that over there. Next up, we have a run of 1960s. A lot of these came from a local card shop. My buddy James and I both went there and met Richard, who is from Chicago, driving back from the beach on the Florida Panhandle back to Chicago, stopped in on his way, and we all 3 met at the local card shop and dug through some cards for a while. They had a really nice group of 1960 cards, and some of these, if not all, are from that group. This first one is mine, that one that I just won that I picked out that I liked. It is a Ted Kluszewski. It got a 6. Just nice card, presented well, centered pretty well. I'm not necessarily a Kluszewski fan, collector, that is, but I do like 1960s, and I figured it was a fairly cheap common. But the backs on these were really, really clean too. There's a couple of these that had backs that looked like, gosh, they looked like they were fresh from the factory. They were so beautiful. I mean, I had actually never seen 1960s that nice before the backs. Next up, this one is James. James is trying to do the best he can to get as many 1960s in 6 or higher. and he succeeded with a lot of these here. Orlando Cepeda in a 6. That is a Hall of Famer. We like that. We'll go ahead and stick Orlando up there. Another one of his, Cleet Boyer. We got a 6. Again, nice looking backs on these cards as well. Let's slide Cleet over here. Hall of Famer, player and manager, red Shane Dienst. Second baseman for the Milwaukee Braves. This one got a 7. Got a near mint 7 for the Hall of Famer. We'll slide him up top here for now. And sticking with the Hall of Fame theme, we got Al Kaline in a 6. This is, again, another one of James. Nice card. So next Hall of Famer is Luis Aparicio. This one got a 6. Again, James did a nice job picking out ones that he liked, picked out ones he needed, and they graded to expectations or close. Again, there were a couple that might have felt a little behind, but the general of the 60s graded pretty spot on. This one's mine. I picked it up. Kurt Flood. Again, it was just another nice looking, well centered card. Got a 6 on it. Hall of Fame man, or actually, I'm not sure if Zimmer's in the Hall of Fame or not. I'll have to look that one up. I feel kind of stupid. I should know that, but I'm guessing no. Anyway, there's a 6 on Zim. That was a nice card. I thought that one had a legit shot at a 7 or maybe even on a good day an 8, but we're going to take the 6 and move forward. Now, this one was gorgeous, and it graded it as such. Got a Dick Groat. He was the MVP that year, as a matter of fact. Got an 8 on it. Just a beautiful card. Well-centered, good, nice look. Gorgeous back. And these backs were to the point that were almost just like glossy. Just nice, clean, looked like they had never been touched type backs. Really happy with those. Stick the near mint 8 up there. Whoop. Next up, Bill Skowron, Yankees. Got a near mint 7 on this one. Again, so no real complaints on these 1960s. They graded pretty nicely. And just to find these in a binder and or boxes in a LCS was, I think, a win. The next 2 cards Richard picked up that same day. They were in the display case. The first one is a Roberto Clemente. Got a 4 on this one. And this is the one that was not centered as well. I don't know if you can see the centering right to left on that. Not centered quite as well, but still nice color on it. Nice card. We'll stick Roberto right there in a 4. And another Roberto from 1960, and we got a 6 on this one. This one is centered a little bit better. Again, it's not perfect, but still very, very sharp, nice looking Roberto. Got some nice value. I think he got a very reasonable deal on these 2. I would have liked to have seen maybe a 5 and a 6 or a 5 and a 7 if I'm going to get greedy, but hey, you can't win them all. So anyway, that's a pretty large group of 1960 cards there. I'm going to take a few down so we can move on from there. 1961, this is another one that I bought last minute, if you will. 61 batting leaders. Got a near mint or EX mint 6, excuse me. Anytime you can have Willie and Roberto on a card, I'll take it. So I like that one. Stick that one up there. All right, next is going to be a big old run of 1962s. Most of these are mine, and I picked these up. Most of these, again, at the local card shop. Grades were close to what I expected. Got to hit on a couple of them, but first one is a Jim Cott. Nice looking Jim Cott. I'm putting together the Hall of Fame registry for 1962. I think this grouping here is going to put me up into the 30s, maybe mid 30s on those. So I pick them up when I can and when they're cheap enough. But that Jim Cott was nice. Next, I got a Win Leaders. This is one actually I picked up online in that late group. Got a 7. That's nice. Fits right into the Hall of Fame with Jim Bunning and Whitey Ford. There. So we'll stick him up there too for now. Next, on the next two, got hit a little bit. I really thought that we could get 4s, and I told you that I was going to shut up and not complain, so I'm just going to move on with this. Got a 3 on Nelly Fox. Again, most of these are centered pretty darn well, too. I know that's not the only reason for a grade, but they looked good, had nice eye appeal. Got a 3 on Boog Powell. That's his rookie, so I figured I'd go ahead and add him to the list, even though he's not a Hall of Famer. But next up, Hall of Famer Ron Santo from the Cubs. Got a 4 on him. I'll just show you a quick back on 62s. Next, Hall of Fame manager Walt Alston. Got a 5 on him. Really nice color on this one. Nice card, centered well, presents well. For a 5, that's another Hall of Famer. Next is another rookie, Joe Torre. Got a 4 on Joe. A little bit off left to right, but still nice card, presents well. Got the rookie cup on it. Again, that'll go. My hope was to do the Hall of Fame registry in a 5 and take a 4 here or there if need be. Probably, obviously, I wasn't planning on the 3 for Nelly Fox, but hey, you adapt. This one's a 6. Killebrew sends one into orbit. This was a really nice card too. Thought we had a shot at a 7 here, but a 6 was fair. I got no real complaints on this one, but it was a very, very nice looking card. So got that. This one, I hate to be a whiner. Switch Hitter Connects. I'm not gonna lie, I bought this in an SGC slab in a 5.5, and I decided to go ahead and crack it out because I thought it looked nice and it would fit the Hall of Fame registry. I don't crack everything out that I buy in SGC slabs, but this one I decided to because again, does it fit what I was trying to do? I was not expecting a 4. I thought it had a good shot at a 5 and even a possible 6. It's pretty nice. Oh well. So now we got a 4 on the Switch Hitter Connects. Probably even though it goes into my registry and what I'm trying to collect in that group. Probably kind of a little bit of a loss there. Just shows you can't win them all. All right, next, Louis Aparicio, 4. Again, Hall of Famer Louis. I just think most of these cards presented pretty darn well, especially for their lower to mid-grade status. Duke Snider, got a 6 on this one. Card number 500. Let's see if I can see. Can we see what the slab is on that? This is the one thing I can't figure out about PSA. Right now, they changed to new slabs. Then they quickly went away from them because of an issue that they said they were going to get fixed. They haven't gone back to them yet, so all the slabs are in the generation before that, which I believe it says like 1T or something on it. If you can look close again, I don't know how well I can get on it. This is one of the new slabs. They stopped using them, haven't gone back to them yet. Still, they randomly get mixed in with the old slabs. I mean, to me, use them or don't use them, but to mix them in and not put the cards in the same submission, same year, in the same slab, just to me, it kind of scratches my head. I'm not perfect. I know corporations aren't perfect, but that's one thing that just kind of is weird to me. Okay, moving on. Shane Dean, Stena 5. Got that one, and that's the last of the 62s. Next, we got a 63 Stan Musial. That one's either James or Nick's card. I don't remember. And for what it's worth, going back to the subject, you can flat out tell, and this one is as well, by the thickness and the weight, which ones are the new slabs and which ones are, the one that they've been using for the last 4, 5, 6 years. The ones that came out last spring or whatever. So this one, the Musial, new, heavier slab, thicker plastic. You can feel the weight difference. This one, now we go back to the other. Again, just the inconsistency doesn't make any sense to me at all. Here's a Clemente VG3 in a 66. Next up, we got a 66 Pete Rose. This one's in a good 2. And that one's about right. I mean, I would have loved to have seen a 3 on it, but I can't complain on this one. It's especially with corners, it's seen some love in its day. All right, now we're going to move into 67s. Got a handful of these. A lot of these are Richards, maybe not all, but K-Line a 4. And again, if you can kind of see, that one's centered pretty well. Maybe a little off top to bottom, but not much. There's not a whole lot of border on these 67, so nice card. Juan Marichal, got a 5 on this one. We had 2 Jim Palmers. This one got a 6. I know Richard was hoping for better grades on both of these. The surface and color, the color was really, really strong on these. I think I had him down for, 5 and a 7. We ended up getting a 6 and a 4. So, but the second Jim Palmer still with the color, the clarity, the registration on the photo, very, very nicely presenting card. Now we got to jump to 68. We got a VG3 on this Palmer. Again, nice eye appeal. It's a 3. Mickey Mantle. This one is a poor 1. And as you can see from the top corner, that's where it belongs. Got a Mickey who's passed through a few hands over the years. And the last card from the 60s was a 69 Bobby Bonds. This one got a 5. Rookie Cup. Again, nice color. Presents well. Got a 5 on it. I should put Mickey up here. I'm kind of forgetting about some of the stands there. Okay, now we're going to go into the 70s, starting the early 70s with a Raleigh Fingers. Got a 5 on this one. This one, again, beautiful eye appeal for a 5. I mean, this is a nice card. Just look good. I mean, it's got a small little tick on that upper left corner, but I mean, that's not the reason for a 5. I mean, not in and of itself. So, got a Raleigh there. Next up, 1970 Bob Gibson. I believe, I don't know if this is a high number or not, but it's definitely close if it's not. I don't remember exactly where the high number started in that year. We got a 6 with the 1970 Bob Gibson. We'll go ahead and put him over here next to, actually, I'm going to put Mickey next to Mickey. Next, the lone 71 of the submission. Got a 4 on a 71 Hank Aaron. That's the center looks good. Some corner touches, but still very, very nice. Hank there, 71. Got a Killebrew from 5 from 72. Again, I believe this one was Richards as well. That there. Got the number 1 card, 1973 all-time home run leaders with Ruth, Aaron, and Mays. Got a 6 on this one. This, I think, 6 is probably a pretty fair grade because, quite honestly, that is cut really tight on the back, and I think we could have seen a miscut designation there. So, I complain about some things. I'm not going to say that's a gift, but at the same time, it was on the border. No pun intended. And could have gotten a miscut designation. I wouldn't have argued with it if it did. So we'll make sure that we're positive when positive is warranted. Thurman Munson, 73. Got a 4 on this one. I don't remember what specifically was going on with this one, but still nicely centered up card. Good eye appeal. Don Sutton. This one's James. He picked up some really nice 73s and 78s, which you'll see here coming up soon. On a Facebook group, this is a Sutton that picked up an 8. Got a Louis Aparicio that picked up an 8. Again, you can see better look of a better center back on those. Jim Palmer in a 5. I like that. I like the photo on that card. Just mid wind up. Looks good. Got a 5 on that one. Next up, we got the Catfish. Catfish Hunter. We got another 8. Again, just some really nice, sharp, good color cards from a set that's not one of my favorite sets. I think the general design is kind of boring. I know some people will disagree with me on that, but tell you what, they look better in 8s. Al Kaline, a 6. This is not the Band-Aid version. But got a nice 6 on an Alkaline 73. All right, next up, I got a few cards out of order here. I'm going to fix that real quickly. Okay, now we're going to 74. Ryan Express. Got a 6 on this one. Again, one of my favorite cards. Again, the photo, mid wind up, getting ready to release. You can see where the leg drive is coming in and where his power is coming from, and that I really like that card. Got a 74 Thurman Munson and a 7. This kind of shows in his face. I mean, you think of Thurman Munson, you think a gritty, tough guy, and that kind of shows in that photo. So I think that's a good representation of him. Another Thurman from 75. This one got a 6. Again, I don't remember exactly what was going on with this card. I do know that the color on it is a little bit lighter, especially that pink is not quite as bold as some of the ones with that purple over pink in 75. But still, very, very nice looking. And if you're not holding two of them next to each other, and I didn't mention it, you probably wouldn't even have noticed. Or most people wouldn't. 75 Pete Rose. We got a 7 on this one. And another one picked up an 8. Very nice there. This one's nicely centered too. Looks good. Got a nice 8 on that one. Let's see. Peter Edward. All right. Now we got 276 roses. The first one. We got a 6 on this one. Again, I do like the pose on this card of the photo. It's just almost like you can just read into his eyes. Got a 7 on this one. So we got a 6 and a 7 on 276. And these are Richards. Richards got a nice set or two of 76s and continues to find some nice cards to submit for grading. And specifically, this one fits right in there. 76 Jim Palmer and an 8. Again, just a beautiful card. Richard and I compete a little bit because we're both kind of shooting for a 76 Hall of Fame set. And I think he's probably got the lead on me. I've got about 20 to 21 of the cards from the Hall of Fame, where he has, I think, a few more than that. Anyway, next up, we have some 78 O-Pee-Chee cards. These, again, were nice. These were ones James plucked off a Facebook sale. Got a Carlton Fisk and an 8. And I'll show you the back. Just the coloring is a little bit different on it. And it says, if I can get in there without getting too much glare, I don't know if we can see that or not, made in Canada. Or printed in Canada, excuse me. Okay. Another one, Mike Schmidt, got an 8. Very nice. Don't see these cards are printed in much, much lower numbers than their Topps counterparts. And to get those at 8s, that's a win. Next up is a Tom Seaver O-Pee-Chee. Got a 7 on this one. Again, all of these were nice. I even thought we had a shot or two at a 9 on a couple of these. But they graded right. 7, 8s, you can't complain. They're right there in the range you need to be, near mint. And the last of the O-Pee-Chees is a Steve Carlton at a 7. And really just nice 7 there. So 2 7s and 2 8s. I think that's a win for James on those. This is a Topps Robin Yount. We're going to take the win back and move it to a loss. And got a 6 on this one. It's pretty nice. I really like to sing better. I like that card as well as a Robin Yount fan. And this one is Topps. Again, I'll kind of see if I can't show you a Topps and an O-Pee-Chee next to each other. You can kind of see. I can't hold this very well without creating too much glare, but see the difference in color in the backs. That's probably your best bet right there on that. All right, 2 more cards. The last 78 Topps. Again, I'm disappointed, and it's probably my fault, but I looked at this. It's one of the best ones I've seen. I thought it had a shot at a 10. I thought it was almost a guaranteed 9 on a day, so I submitted a Darrell Evans and got an 8. That's one of those kind of wish you had back, because while Darrell Evans was a great player and actually even has an argument for the Hall of Fame, just there's not enough collectability in him to have any kind of value to be even above grading costs on this 8. So, oh well, win some, lose some. Last card, Joe Morgan, 1979. Near mint 8. Nice card. I was a big fan of Joe Morgan back in the day. Again, I kind of got my start with baseball watching the Big Red Machine in '75, and Morgan, Bench, Rose, Perez, just awesome players. So that's your sub. Again, like and subscribe if you would like to see more. I do appreciate you spending time with me, sticking with me through this whole video. If you like it, somebody else that you think might like it, please share with a friend and pass it along. Next time you come back and see the next video, bring a friend along. I appreciate it. Once again, thank you. Take care.